Good evening, baseball fans. How you doing? What a wackadoodle day of some baseball. Man, oh man, can you feel the playoffs just getting closer and closer? Let's get to it. And good evening, baseball fans. Hello, hello, hello. A lot of familiar faces here in the chat. What is going on, everyone? Jackson, how you doing, my friend? Tristan, hello. Wolfpack, what's going on? Jacob Toon, one of our moderators. Jacob, welcome, welcome. How you doing? Who else we got in here? What is going on? Mason R. Boba Fett is here. BK Goat Kim, what's going on? Ed Bagley, one of our members, is here. Hello, my friend. How are you? How you doing? Who else we got in here? Anyone just trickling on in? We're almost at 100 people right now. Who else did I miss? Julian, what's going on? Machine Sugar 660, how you doing? Bob is here. How you doing? Chris is here. Ethan is here. What's going on? Da Boys Z is here. Hello, my friend. How you doing? How you doing? Everyone, man, oh man, what a day of baseball. I mean, holy cow. How about that Mariners-Braves game? I mean, wow. What a finish. What a crazy finish, man. What a game. Pujols, 3 away. I mean, at this point. I mean, honestly, let's just have Pujols pass Babe Ruth. Can we just do that? Is that possible? Can we just have him stick around for one more year? You might as well. Albert Pujols, if you're watching this somewhere. I mean, that'd be pretty cool if you were. But yeah, just pass Babe Ruth. Come on, you got to stay and do it. What else we got? We got, for the power rankings tonight, not a whole lot of movement. We do have a couple of top teams moving in the top 10, so we'll see where I end up putting all of these teams. We got another super chat coming in. Oh, my goodness, already. JM1231. How about those Mariners? I mean, wow. That just felt like a playoff game today. It felt, I mean, at the end it did. You know, it looked pretty much over, and the Braves just explode there at the end. I mean, what a finish that was. That's playoff baseball right there, man. That's two good teams. Both teams deserve to win that one today. Both teams deserve to win that one. The Mariners are playing a good game. Braves, a hellacious comeback at the end. And, hey, in the end, the Mariners taking advantage of that home cooking. But, man, we got a lot to talk about tonight. But before I do get started, as always, if you are new, think about hitting that subscribe button for me. We're getting kind of closer to 27,000 subscribers. That's the goal by the end of the playoffs. So if you are new, think about subscribing down below. Everyone, YouTube has updated their algorithms, so hitting the like button is just as important as it has ever been. So please hit that like button for me. It really does go a long way. And everyone, hey, hit the bell notification. That way you know I go live every single time. And especially with the playoffs coming up, you're going to want to hit that bell notification and make sure you know every time I go live or post a video. And everyone, if you can, share the stream, share it on Twitter, share it on Instagram, share it on Facebook. Go tell your grandma we're live. Go tell everyone we're live. And everyone, don't forget, we do have partners here. We are, why is my button not working? Here we go. SeatGeek. Use my code HYDE, $20 off. We still have about 3.5 weeks of baseball left. So if you're still planning on going to a game, take advantage. I had a few people use the code this past week. Definitely take advantage of it. It's a nice little deal. Maybe gets you an extra couple of hot dogs. Not a bad deal if you ask me. And don't forget about Prize Picks. We are partners with them. It's not like DraftKings. It's not like FanDuel. You're not going up against other players. You're going up against the system. You're playing the over-unders. And especially with football season back in the swing of things, definitely go check out Prize Picks. Go see if you can go win some money, win a little extra cash. And use my code, Ginger. You'll get a 100% deposit match if you use my code. And especially now that football season is back. We will soon be having a new partnership on the channel. I can't yet just announce it at this point in time, but soon I will be able to announce it once I have been given the go-ahead to announce it. I gotta wait for them to tell me when it's okay. But everyone, let's get into it. We got power rankings to talk about. Again, another a fun week. We got the music ready here. Oh, you know what? Actually, before I do get to the power rankings, I actually do want to cover something really quick. I was not able to cover it this past week, and I feel like it's too important to just pass up here. So before I do get to the power rankings, just want to talk about the rule changes for 2023. Just want to give my thoughts on these. So you've probably all heard this by now. We got a few new rules, a few big rules coming for the game of baseball in 2023. You got the pitch timer, you got restrictions on the shift, as well as bigger bases. Now, let me start off with the pitch timer. I'm definitely in favor of this. When Rob Manfred took over in 2015, that was a big thing that he was talking about, pace of play. That first year where he was commissioner, the average time of play went down 7 minutes from 2014 to 2015. But ever since then, he has not been able to even really get near that 3-hour average. Sorry. So I think the pitch timer is really going to help things. I think it's just going to add a new little wrinkle, to how pitchers are operating on the mound. I think it's definitely something they're going to have to be more aware of now. So if we go take a look at the pitch timer rules. So taking a look here, they have a breakdown of everything. So, and they've been testing this out in the minor leagues. This isn't just something they just came up with on the fly. We've been seeing this in the minor leagues. We've been actually seeing clocks out there. So it says here, in an effort to create a quicker pace of play, there will be a 30-second timer between batters. Between pitches, there will be a 15-second timer with the bases empty and a 20-second timer with runners on base. So very interesting little wrinkle there. I'm pretty excited to see, man, could that end up changing the course of a game somehow, some way? We'll have to just wait and see. I'm sure that first month of next season, you're going to start seeing some people probably saying giving their thoughts on it. It'll be interesting at that point in time. At last check, the pitch timer had reduced the average time of game in the minor leagues by about 26 minutes. This rule, which includes limits on throws to first base, has also increased stolen base attempts. With this rule in place in the minors this season, steal attempts per game have increased from 2.23 in 2019 at a 68% success rate to 2.83 in 2022 at a 77% success rate. And absolutely, it just adds a little bit more of a wrinkle there. These pitchers are already thinking about this clock, and when you got a runner on, hey, man, stealing some bases, man. That's what I like. You got some energy on the bases now, a quicker pace of play. I think it's just going to be better for everyone involved. It's going to take a bit of an adjustment, and they'll have it going on in spring training. I would imagine they would. So they have an entire month to really get used to it. But I think overall, this is a really good thing to have. If you go back, I feel like, yes, we've had some really fun years of baseball after 2010. But if you really go back, 2003, 2004, 2005. I mean, the late 2000s ratings were so up with Major League Baseball. If you look at the average pace of play, under 3 hours per game, 2 hours and 55 minutes in back-to-back years from 2007 to 2008. I believe 2007, I could be wrong. Correct me if I'm wrong. I feel like that was one of the highest rated years of all time when it came to TV ratings and whatnot. Could be wrong on that, but I feel like 2007 was a pretty good year in terms of ratings. 2004, obviously I'm a little biased towards that year with my Red Sox, but that was such an exciting season, and the playoffs were just so exciting. So you can see baseball was at its high point during this time, and I don't know if we're going to necessarily get, if they're saying here it's reducing games by 26 minutes, I mean, you're definitely on pace to get around back to this time. So I think that's going to be a good thing overall. Sure, I definitely think there could be some challenges that come up, especially adjusting to a new system, but I think in the end, it's going to be for the best. Now, the bases as well. Sure, yeah, I absolutely think the bases, making them a little bit bigger, from 15 inches to 18 inches. Yeah, sure. Gives them a little extra room. You're not having to, worry about coming off of the base. You know, we've seen that a few times here and there where guys come off the base. You know, give them a little extra to play with. And I think also it just gives the fielder a little more leeway as well, you know, a runner sliding in. So I think it's just overall a good move. So I don't know. I don't really see anything wrong with it, to be completely honest. Now, the big one, it's the shift. That's the big one that people were kind of split on. I was more on the side. I definitely think there needed to be some kind of a limit. I've said this on the streams before. I definitely was more in favor of doing shifts, but maybe having a bit of like a limit on them, like a cap. Like you could do like 3 shifts per game or like 5 shifts per game, where, you know, you can kind of use them strategically, but you only get a few times to use them. So that's kind of where I was at. I'm okay with it, honestly. I kind of just like players, you know, playing their positions, and Joey Gallo is definitely going to be happy about this. Let's just say that. So, just breaking it down here, yes, 4 infielders. You have to have 2 on each side of the second base bag. So those fielders, they can move around anywhere they want, but you have to have 2 fielders on each side of the bag. So infielders may not switch sides. In other words, a team cannot reposition its best defender on the side of the infield. The batter is more likely to hit the ball. I just think in the end, it just brings a little more balance to everything, you know. Sure, I would have liked teams to have at least a few shifts, you know, per game where you can use them to your advantage, you know, kind of like how you can, you know, managers, they can, you know, challenge calls and whatnot. I think that would have been good, but they did have a statistic here. As of this writing, the league-wide batting average on balls in play of 291 in 2022 is 6 points lower than in 2012 and 10 points lower than in 2006. And hey, at the end of the day, more hits, it's just going to be better for the game overall. People like offense, you know, and that's just the way it is. That's just the way it is. And but taking a look at some of the teams this year against the shift, if we take a look at Fangraphs here, the Yankees are actually the worst team against the shift this year when it comes to WRC+. The Mariners at 29. If you take a look at some other pretty good teams here, you got the Padres at 17. Houston is in the middle of the pack at 15. Now, some of these really good teams like the Dodgers and the Mets, they are some of the best offensive teams against the shift this year. You got Tampa Bay, St. Louis up here. So these teams up here that are in playoff contention, they've been doing a great job at hitting against the shift. But then it's funny how you see the Mariners and the Yankees, they have not performed well. So let's see how the Yankees do against the shift, or no, without the shift next year. I think that will be pretty interesting. But overall, I have no really complaints. I think maybe a couple of shifts per game, I think, would have been nice to, you know, more for strategy, because I always like it when you can implement strategy in any way you can. But overall, those are my feelings on the new rules for 2023. Now, let's get to the power rankings, shall we? So here we go. Taking a look at last week's power rankings. We're 150 deep in the chat. Everyone, if you can, share the stream. Let's start getting some people in here. And the light goal for tonight, let's shoot for 150 likes. I mean, we have 150 people in here right now, 150 likes for tonight. Can we do it? Here were last week's power rankings, 1 through 5. We had the Dodgers, Astros, Mets, Braves, and the Cardinals. Then we had the Rays, the Mariners, the Yankees. That first time all year, I think I had the Yankees that low in the top 10. And then with the Padres and the Blue Jays rounding out the top 10. Rounding out the top 15, we had the Phillies, Orioles, Twins, Brewers, and the Guardians. So we do have a little bit of movement in the top 10. We got a little bit of movement in the mid-range here as well. So let's not waste any more time. Let's get to it, shall we? Let's go to the Washington Nationals coming in. Or no, sorry, I have this wrong. Did I have this wrong? Oh, no, we got the... Nope, sorry, I got the Pirates. Whoops, I don't know what the heck I even did there. So the last week, I had the Pirates at number 30. Sticking with the Pirates at number 30. They lose 2 out of 3 to the Mets this week, as well as St. Louis. But O'Neal Cruz had himself a pretty good week. Actually, I wrote down some stats here. In the last 6 games coming into today, he was hitting .462 with a .481 on base and a .962 slugging, 3 homers, 7 RBIs. O'Neal Cruz has been absolutely massacring the ball. Jack Sawinski hit his 15th homer today. Roansy Contreras, Mitch Keller, they've been pitching pretty well, but not really a whole lot going on for the Pirates. I'm excited for them next year, though. Coming in at number 29, we got the Washington Nationals. They split with the Cardinals this week. They did get swept by the Phillies, but hey, they pulled off a split with St. Louis. I like that. I like it. And actually, their offense was really good this past week. 8th in offense this past week. Taking a look at the numbers here, they had some guys hitting, man. Cesar Hernandez hitting 400 over his last 7. Lane Thomas hitting. Alex Call hitting 471 over his last 5. Kyber Ruiz hitting 400. I mean, come on. CJ Abrams hitting pretty well over his last 6 games. The offense, man, coming alive this week for the Nationals. But other than that, not a whole lot going on. Coming in at number 28, we got the Oakland A's. They lost 3 out of 4 to the White Sox. They did score 10 runs today. The White Sox were going for the sweep, but Johnny Cueto got absolutely lit up today. They lost both to the Braves. Their starting pitching was absolutely awful. Last week, they ranked dead last. Oakland coming in at number 28. At number 27, we have the Detroit Tigers. They were shut out for the 20th time today. Man, oh man, this Tigers team stinks. I think the record for most shutouts in a season, the record for how many times a team has been shut out in a season, I think it was the Cardinals. I don't remember what year, though. I think it was like 33 or like 35. I think somewhere around that. I think it was 33 from what I remember. So, man, the Tigers, they just stink, man. They just stink. They lost 2 out of 3 to the Angels. But you know what? I'll give them a little credit. They did win 2 out of 3 against the Royals. But hey, it's the Royals. They're going to be at the bottom here, too. At number 26, rounding out the bottom tier, we got the Miami Marlins. Man, this Marlins team, man, I've said this the last few weeks. I remember going into the All-Star break. I'm like, hey, maybe this Marlins team, they got some good pitching here. You know, Sandy Alcantara has been doing pretty good. Man, maybe the Marlins can just catch fire. Nope. Complete opposite. They just went ice cold in the second half. They lost 2 out of 3 to the Mets and the Phillies this week. The offense ranked 24th in the last 7 days, 18th in starting pitching. However, Jesus Luzardo, Sandy Alcantara, they both pitched well this past week. Pablo Lopez got rocked in both of his starts this past week. So that's really all that's going on for the Marlins. Moving on to the next tier, we got the Cincinnati Reds coming in at number 25. They won 2 out of 3 against the Cubs. Not too shabby, but they lost 2 out of 3 to the Brewers. Nick Lodolo, though, he is the star of the show. 8 innings, 11 strikeouts versus the Brewers. Wow, he is looking really good this year. A 3.78 ERA, a 3.67 FIP, and 11 strikeouts per 9 over 15 starts this year. Nick Lodolo is absolutely fantastic. And actually, I think I'm pronouncing this right. Alejo Lopez hit his first home run today. He was the number 52 prospect in their system on Fangraphs. A good hit tool guy, a 60 hit tool, not really known for his power, but hey, first home run today, give it up for him. At number 24, we got the Chicago Cubs right in front of the Reds. Actually, maybe I should switch this around. Actually, I think I meant to switch this around. The Cubs, because wait, hold on. Do I have this right? Yes, the Cubs, they lost 2 out of 3 to the Reds. My goodness, my brain is not working. I got to go to bed soon. I'm going to actually put the Reds in front of the Cubs because the Reds beat them in their series this week. And with the Cubs, they also split with the San Francisco Giants. Actually, what was going on here? I think they were still playing. I don't know if they had like a rain delay or something. What was going on in this game? Why is this game going on so late? Is this on ESPN tonight? What's going on here? Oh, Giants are up 4-2 now. So, but for the Cubs, I mean, there's really not a whole lot going on. The offense has been slumping lately, but the pitching has been pretty good. Marcus Stroman has actually been looking pretty decent lately. Drew Smyly had a good start against the Giants. Sampson looked pretty good against the Reds in that series. So, yeah, I'll give the Cubs a little credit. I did a little switch here. Cubs at 25. Reds at 24 because the Reds beat the Cubs this week. So I'll put the Reds a little bit ahead of the Cubs. Coming in at number 23, we got the Kansas City Royals. They lost 2 out of 3 to Cleveland and Detroit this week. However, Brady Singer looked really good today. 7 innings, 6 strikeouts. Massey hit his second home run today. He's been pretty decent since being called up this year. But other than that, not a whole lot going on for the Royals. I don't think the Reds were good enough to hop over the Royals from last week. All these teams have been pretty much just stinking up the joint for a little bit now. So not a whole lot of movement. I'll keep the Royals at number 23. At number 22, I got the Texas Rangers. I actually think I dropped the Rangers one spot from last week. They lost 2 out of 3 to the Rangers and the Astros this week. However, Martin Perez, he did pitch well today against a hot Blue Jays offense, man. That Blue Jays offense has actually been the best overall over the last 7 games. But the starting pitching has not been good. 25th in starting pitching this past week. 29th in offense this past week. The bullpen has been pretty good, though. 8th in relief pitching in the last 7 games. Leclerc had his 4th save today. But other than that, the Rangers, they stink. At number 21, we got the Angels. I'm actually dropping them out from the 16 through 20 tier. I am dropping them to number 21. They did win 2 out of 3 against Detroit, but they lost their series against the Astros. However, the offense has been pretty good. Taking a look at the Angels' offense, can we just acknowledge how good Mike Trout is? I mean, holy cow, did you see the week that Mike Trout had? I mean, are you kidding me? Look at the week that Trout had. If you're watching this right now, look at my screen. He hit .417 this past week with a .462 on base, a .1250 slugging. He had 6 homers this past week, 9 RBIs. What the heck is going on? Mike Trout just coming alive, man. Taylor Ward, Luis Rengifo, they hit pretty well this week. I mean, even Matt Theis had 11 plate appearances. He hit .500 this past week. Ohtani with a few homers this week. And, you know, the Angels, they stink, but, man, it's some good offense this week. And, yeah, Ohtani, man, he had 4 home runs this week. I think he hit one today. And the other night on the mound, he hit 101.4 on the mound. That's his fastest pitch that he's ever thrown. He went 5 innings and had a few strikeouts there as well. Shohei Ohtani, could he end up getting the MVP? Probably not, but I think he'll get a couple of votes, maybe. Jimmy Productions, what's going on right now, my friend? How you doing? Jimmy Productions, I feel like the MLB season is boring right now. It'll probably get more interesting when it's the last week of the season or the playoffs. I agree. It's starting to heat up a little bit. August, you got the dog days of August, and then the first couple of weeks of September, it's always a little slow. But once you get into the final couple of weeks of the season, that's when energy really picks up. So I'm hoping the last power rankings of the season, I'm hoping we get 500 people in this chat. I feel like at that point, playoff baseball is starting. The last power rankings of last year did really well. I don't remember how many views it ended up getting, but it did really well. I think the same thing is going to happen this year. Baseball is kind of just weird like that. People just want to wait for the playoffs. Most people want to wait for the playoffs, you know? So, but all of you guys are all interested in baseball right now, and that's a good thing. So, other than that, the Angels, a lot of offense from Trout. Ohtani's been amazing, but they come in at number 21. At number 20, I got the Rockies. Holy crap. Did everyone see the home run that CJ Cron hit? I watched that like 18 times today. That guy absolutely mashed. Holy cow. He hit out of Coors Field. That was absolutely insane. I would show it, but knowing Major League Baseball, I'll get a copyright thing. So go look up CJ Cron and the home run that he hit. It went 504 feet, the second longest home run in the StatCast era. Oh my God. Like, he just obliterated it. Like, it was just, it was awesome. I loved it, man. CJ Cron, it wasn't just that home run. He's been awesome this week. Hit 4 home runs this past week. And the offense for the Rockies, we're talking about offenses. Look at the offense when it comes to the Rockies. 10th overall in the last 7. We take a look at some of these guys here. Eleuteris Montero has been hitting really well. That's the replacement for Nolan Arenado. Michael Toglia has been hitting well. Jonathan Daza has been hitting well. Ryan McMahon with a couple of homers. Like I said, CJ Cron with 4 homers and 9 RBIs this past week. Not really getting a lot of hits, but good grief. That home run, I'm telling you, go watch that home run if you didn't see it. My goodness. For the Rockies, that's pretty much all that's going on. They did win 2 out of 3 against the Diamondbacks and the Brewers. The Rockies actually had themselves a pretty good week, and they move up into the 16 through 20 tier. You got to love it. You got to love it. At number 19, we got the San Francisco Giants. I believe we saw were they winning right now? I think it was, 4-2? Yes, Giants are up 4-2, bottom of the 8th, but the Cubs got a couple runners on. Can they get something going here? But Jimmy Productions, another super chat. The Angels are going nowhere. They should trade Ohtani and rebuild around Trout, but they won't do that. Yeah, man. Hey, the Angels, they sell a lot of Ohtani bobbleheads. They sell a lot of T-shirts. They sell a lot of jerseys, man. My God, the money that guy is bringing in, you should try and get this guy signed to an extension if you can. That guy is going to bring in way more money than Trout. I mean, Trout will bring in some good money, but Ohtani is just international, man. Like, that is the guy you want to try and lock up if you can. But he wants to win, so I don't know, man. I don't know. Jimmy, thank you for the couple of super chats, my friend. I appreciate that. We'll have to wait and see. Artie Moreno, how much longer is he going to be around? Can we see some new ownership? Let's see what they end up doing with Ohtani. But the Giants, their key thing this week was starting pitching. I mean, my God. Carlos Rodon at this point, he's looking like a pretty good bet to get that Cy Young. A 1.59 ERA over his last 2 starts. Almost about 16 and a half strikeouts per 9 over his last 2. Logan Webb has been looking really good. That was my pick for the Cy Young this year, man. You know, didn't quite work out, but he's had himself a really solid year. I would actually say a pretty underrated year for Logan Webb, just because you're not really hearing about him. Remember, he was like the star of the show last year, you know, second half of the year. This guy was amazing. He pitched well in the playoffs. And you're not really hearing anything about him this year. I feel like he's actually been really underrated because Carlos Rodon has been stealing the show over in San Francisco. But other than that, not a whole lot going on for the Giants. They, yeah, you know, let's see what they can do for next year. Some good pitching, but other than that, not a whole lot going on. At number 18, we got the Diamondbacks. Zach Gallen, man, finally, that streak ended of consecutive scoreless innings. Wow, what a run for Zach Gallen, man. And, you know, even though he gave up a run today, he went 6 innings. He struck out 11. No big deal. Zach Gallen is awesome. I'm telling you, look out for the Diamondbacks next year. I know I said that last year. But I think the Diamondbacks, man, I feel like they're getting close. They're getting some good vibes there. And with how good Gallen's been, man, if you can add another pitcher somewhere, you know, in that free agent market or make a trade or something, you got so many young guys in that organization, so much talent. Diamondbacks, man, I'm waiting for it. Hopefully they can be good next year. But Gallen, with his streak, it ended at 44 1/3 innings scoreless. That is a lot of innings scoreless, man. That is like crazy. That passed Brandon Webb for the all-time franchise record. That is the 7th longest streak in history. And again, he struck out 11 today despite giving up a run for the first time in 44 1/3 innings. You got to love it, man. You got to love it. The Diamondbacks. Did I say who? They lost 2 out of 3 to the Padres as well as the Rockies. Not a great week overall, but hey, Zach Gallen, he's awesome. At number 17, you know, maybe this might be a little low for some people, but the Minnesota Twins, they have just been awful. What the heck is going on with the Minnesota Twins? I mean, looking at the Twins, man, they are just free falling right now. They lost 3. I think, what was it? They just got swept. Yeah, they got swept by the Guardians. This past weekend, a horrible series against the Yankees. They're now under 500. 4.5 out now in the division. 2-8 in their last 10. They have just completely nosedived here. And, man, with the White Sox, they're getting hot. Cleveland, they're still staying afloat there. 2.5 out in front of the White Sox. But Minnesota, man, they've just completely fallen on their face here. Minnesota, they're just not doing anything. They got 1 hit today from Gary Sanchez. Just pathetic. I know Shane Bieber was on the mound, but my God. In the last 7 days, they're 18th in offense. They're 29th in starting pitching. That's not going to get it done. 17th in relief pitching. The Twins, they just stink right now, man. They just stink. At number 16, we got to go with my Red Sox here. Not quite in the top half, but the Red Sox, you know, man, they're, doing all right here at the end. You know, whatever, it's pretty much done. It's been done for a little bit now, but, you know, I like that they're still showing some fight. You know, 17 runs against the Orioles this past weekend. That was pretty fun to watch. Bogarts actually got player of the week prior, and he's continuing to hit well. Verdugo, Story, they've been hitting pretty well. Devers, Arroyo, Pham, they had home runs this past week. The starting pitching has been pretty good too. Michael Wacha, can we bring this guy back? Michael Wacha, get this guy back. He's been fantastic this year. I have loved me some Michael Wacha. Give this guy like a 2-year deal. I'm all about it, man. Michael Wacha, get that guy signed up for next year. Brian Baio, he looked pretty good this past week. Gave up a few runs, but the FIP was a lot better. That's the story with Brian Baio. He's going to be good. He's going to be good. And the FIP is so much lower than his ERA. No one gets hard contact off him, man. Brian Baio, when he figures it out, he's going to be really good. But he did get the loss in his start this past week. Pivetta got the L as well. But they both looked pretty good in their starts. Hill actually looked really good. Rich Hill went 5 innings today, scoreless. I like me some Rich Hill, man. He's not really going to, be a barn burner of a starter. But I just like when he just comes out with these really good starts here and there. For the Red Sox, it's nice to see that they have some fight. They're not just completely rolling over at the end of the season. And, really taking it to the Orioles, who've had a lot of momentum here, in the last, couple of months, and really took it to them this past weekend. So the Red Sox, hey, they're doing some kind of damage, I guess. At number 15, starting off, the Red Sox rounded out the bottom half, starting off the top half. We got the Orioles at 15. A tough week for Baltimore. They had a lot of momentum there. They were right there in the wild card picture. But if you take a look here, Baltimore, they're now 5.5 out in the wild card. They were looking pretty good there for a little bit, but I've been saying this. I've been saying this about the Orioles. I did a video on the Orioles. It's nice to see they've been getting some good starting pitching. Not a lot of strikeouts. More, guys getting fly balls, really playing to the dimensions of that ballpark. Getting some decent offense, from guys like Jorge Mateo, Anthony Santander, Adley Rutschman as well. I believe he's coming back this coming week. I think I don't remember. Did he go on the IL or was he day-to-day? I can't fully remember. But, they've been getting some guys hitting. Even without Trey Mancini, they've been doing a pretty good job with the bats. The bullpen's been doing pretty well for the most part. But they just had a tough week here. They lost 3 out of 4 to the Toronto Blue Jays, 2 out of 3 to my Red Sox. Gave up 17 runs to my Red Sox, like I mentioned. So, the Orioles, I feel like this is kind of the week where, all right, we got to close the door now on the Orioles unless they get hot. We still got a few more weeks here. So they definitely could get hot, but the Blue Jays, the way they're playing lately, man, they're playing pretty good. We'll talk about them and the Mariners here in a little bit. But, the Baltimore Orioles, man, coming in at 15. Last week, they were at number 12. I've decided to drop them a few spots here. So the Orioles and the Twins, they really dropped in my rankings for this week. At number 14, we got the Brewers. So the Brewers last week, they were in the same spot. So, with the Brewers, they're not done yet. They're still there in the wild card race. If we go take a look in the National League wild card race, they're 2 out. They're right there, and the Padres, they're not playing really inspiring baseball. The Brewers are not done. They're getting some really good starting pitching. They were actually 12th in starting pitching this past week. Corbin Burns, Adrian Hauser, those guys dominated in their starts this past week. Woodruff struck out 11 today. Freddie Peralta, he's been back for a little bit now, but now he's going back on the IL with some shoulder fatigue. But the Brewers, Rowdy Tellez got his 30th homer this week, or today actually. That's tied for 8th in the major league. So Rowdy Tellez having himself a pretty good year. Can the Brewers do it? Can they do it? They got some work to do. They're 2 out. I think they got the pitching to get it done. Can the Padres start picking up the pace here? I think this is going to be pretty exciting. We'll have to wait and see, man. Could you imagine the Padres not making the playoffs? I would die laughing. I would lose it. I would die laughing. I think that would be the most hilarious thing. If they don't make the playoffs, would you consider the Padres to be just an organizational failure at that point? You had the best farm system in the game, and you've pretty much gotten rid of everyone. You had everyone, and you've gotten rid of all of them. Sure, you brought Soto in. You've brought in some really good players. But my God, if the Padres don't make the playoffs, I don't even know what to say. To me, that would be an organizational failure. AJ Preller I would imagine that dude's gone. I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't know what's going on. They better pick up the pace here because the Brewers, they're breathing down their necks. At number 13, hey, I've been saying this about the White Sox. I've been saying this. I've been saying this now for a little while. They got to run. They got to run in them. And here's the run. They're getting hot at the right time. Tony La Russa, dude, stay away. Stay away, Tony La Russa. My God. Like, that guy needs to just stay home. Like, they were talking about how their doctors are okay because he went away due to some personal health issues. And they were saying he's okay to fly again, but they're not quite sure if he's back, good to go back in the dugout. Dude, I'm telling you, I think they saw how the White Sox are playing. And if you take a look here, they're 8-2 in the month of September. I believe he went away at August 31st. So since he has left, they're 8-2. I mean, you got to keep this guy away. I don't see why you would bring La Russa back at this point. There's no way you do it. You were just underperforming with him all year. You know what I would like to think is actually happening? I think they said to La Russa, hey, dude, they're playing good right now. Without you, we love you here, but dude, you gotta no. Like, we can't mess with the mojo of this team right now. You gotta stay away. And I think La Russa even acknowledged that too. He said, like, hey, they're playing good right now. So he said he didn't want to mess with anything. Keep that guy away. Like, seriously. La Russa, sit on your recliner at home. I'm sure you have a wonderful home with all the best amenities and you are obviously you've made a lot of money doing this for years and years. Just stay at your nice home, watch the games on TV. Just stay away. Let the White Sox do their thing because, dude, they're doing better without you. This is the best they've looked all season. They're 2.5 back in the Central. My prediction, like my bold prediction right now, I think they're going to end up winning this division. I just don't see how this team cannot win this division. They're so talented. Like, I understand Cleveland's been good. Like, I love what Cleveland's doing. I said this about Cleveland. And yes, I will scream this from the mountaintops. Yeah, I will toot my own horn because no one else was doing it. In the offseason, I said Cleveland is going to be in the playoff picture at this point. And everyone was laughing at me. And, well, who's laughing now? Who's laughing now? Cleveland's looking great. But the White Sox, there is no way they should not make it. They're so good. Like, their offense is great. The pitching is great. The bullpen is good. Like, people were picking this team to win the World Series this year. Some people were picking them to win the World Series. A lot of people were picking them to make the World Series. And a lot of people were picking the Blue Jays out of the American League. But the White Sox were also a popular pick in the preseason picks. Now, the White Sox lately, dude, their offense has been great. They're 9th in offense over the last 7. I mean, take a look at what some of these guys are doing. These guys are just hitting really well. I mean, Elvis Andrus. I mean, dude, this guy was nothing with the A's. They let him go, and he's with the White Sox. I mean, he's been hitting the crap out of the ball. 3 homers, 9 RBIs this past week. Eloy Jimenez, same thing. He's been great. AJ Pollock, he's looking as good as he has all year. Yohan Moncada, he's looked as good as he has all year. I mean, Romy Gonzalez has been hitting well. I mean, come on. I mean, Josh Harrison has been looking good. I mean, this team, man, offensively, they're looking really good. And taking a look at starting pitching, that has been the big thing for the White Sox. Starting pitching, the number 1 overall in the last 7 games. Lance Lynn is just cashing checks and snapping necks. This guy is absolutely fantastic lately. 2-0 in his last 2 starts over 13 innings. Hasn't given up a run. 11 strikeouts per 9. About a walk and a half per 9. Dylan Cease has been looking great. Lucas Giolito's looking more solid lately. Johnny Cueto did get lit up today, but he did look pretty good in his last start before that. They're getting really good starting pitching. The White Sox are looking good here. And this is a pretty big jump from the week prior. I had them at 17 last week. I bumped them up a full slot all the way up to number 13. They're just playing that good. And they're right there in the division, man. I think they're peaking at the right time. And ahead of them, we have the Guardians, who are also playing well. The Guardians, they got to... I mean, I know it's obviously, like, duh. Yeah, like, obviously. But the Guardians, they need to keep winning because if they slip up at all, the White Sox, I think, are going to catch them. I do think the White Sox will win this division. That's what I think is going to happen over the next few weeks. But the Guardians, if they can keep winning series and just stay ahead as much as they can, I think they could do it. They could definitely do it. They had a good week this past week. They won 2 out of 3 against the Royals. They swept the Twins. They're getting decent offense, 13th overall in the last 7 games. They're 9th in starting pitching in the past week. Shane Bieber looked great today. He looked good in his last start as well. Tristan McKenzie has been fantastic. He pitched well against the Twins and Kansas City. Cal Quantrill's been looking pretty good. I mean, Cleveland, man, they're doing great. They're doing great, man. I love what Cleveland's doing. A 1.65 ERA in the last 7. That doesn't even include today's number. So I love what Cleveland's doing, man. They come in at number 12 for me. Coming in, and this is actually one of the bigger moves from last week. This is one of the big. Oh, JM 1231. How would you evaluate the Lindor trade as of right now? Yeah, I think it's been going great for both sides. I think it's actually been a very good trade for both sides. We can actually go to baseball trade values and we can go look at how that trade looked when it first happened. It was approved by the model, by the simulator. Baseball trade values, the best baseball trade simulator out there. If you take a look here, it was a pretty even trade. It's really working out for the Mets. Lindor is having himself a really solid season. You could even say maybe an underrated season. You haven't really been hearing anything about Lindor, but Jimenez, he has been fantastic. Rosario has been great. What a great trade this has been for both sides. Man, maybe I need to do a video on this, you know, maybe just looking back. That's actually one series, a series that I would like to start doing, looking back at old trades and kind of just seeing how they're looking now. If you go to baseball trade values, if you go to the history tab, you can see all of these trades, like all these huge blockbuster trades that have been approved by the simulator, like Max Scherzer, Trey Turner to the Dodgers. I would love to do a series like that, just, you know, looking back at older trades and just seeing how they're doing now. So, but yeah, anyway, I digress. The Guardians, they're doing well. At number 11, last week, I had the Padres at number 9. The Padres are out of my top 10 as of right now. They did win 2 out of 3 versus the Diamondbacks, but they lost 2 out of 3 against the Dodgers. What is their record against the Dodgers this year? What is it, like 4-15? Like, what is it? They have not won one series against the Dodgers this year. They're 4-11 versus the Dodgers this year. They're so bad. But yeah, the Padres, they're not looking great. The bullpen has been pretty good, but the offense was only 22nd overall in the last 7 games. The starting pitching has been awful. Darvish did earn a win against the Diamondbacks, but Snell, Musgrove, Clevenger, they've all been getting hit around lately. The Padres have just not been looking great, you know? I don't know. I got to drop them out of my top 10. They're just not playing inspiring right now. They just look empty. I don't know what it is. Like, it's just you got a good team, and you're just not playing like you should be. Like, this team should be dominating. Like, and they're not. And so, for me, they're at number 11. Top 10. We have reached the top 10. Everyone, before I do get to the top 10, if you are new to the channel, think about subscribing down below. We're trying to get to 27,000 subscribers by the end of the World Series. That is the goal. We're trying to get to 30,000 by the end of the year. So if you can, hit that subscribe button for me. Everyone, if you can, hit that like button for me. The like goal for tonight was 150. So please hit that like button, hit the bell button, hit the share button, hit all the buttons. And also, everyone, while I have all of you here, remember, take advantage of my code SeatGeek. Use my code for SeatGeek. It's Hyde. You get $20 off. And hey, we still got a few more weeks left of the season. And don't forget, we are partners with Prize Picks. Use my code GINGER, and you'll get a 100% deposit match. Okay, back to the show. At number 10. At number 10, last week I had the Phillies at number 11, and they have made it back into the top 10. They've been playing some pretty good baseball lately. They won 2 out of 3 against the Marlins, and they swept the Nationals over the weekend. Alec Boehm, Rhys Hoskins, they both homered today. The offense has been great, 9th in offense over the last 7 games. Edmundo Sosa with a huge week. Let me pull up these numbers for the Phillies. My God, look at these numbers for the Phillies. Edmundo Sosa has been absolutely out of his mind. Yeah, over 4 games, he has a couple of homers, 5 RBIs, hitting .583, a .615 on base, a 1.417 slugging. What the heck is going on with Edmundo Sosa? JT Realmuto's been hitting pretty well. Nick Madden, he's been hitting pretty well this year. Actually, taking a look at Nick Madden. Am I saying it right? Nick Madden or Maton? I'm sorry if I'm pronouncing that wrong. But he's actually been pretty solid. Over 20 games, hitting .302 with a .415 on base and a .674 slugging, a .193 WRC+. He's been doing pretty good, man. He's been playing some left, some second, some right. 25 years old, man. He was actually the number 17 prospect after 2021. So, hey, doing pretty good, man. Doing pretty good. But for the Phillies, they're looking really good right now. The starting pitching has been doing pretty good. Aaron Nola, Bailey Falter, they had good weeks. Suarez, Syndergaard, they both earned wins. Kyle Gibson did get knocked around a little bit. But, hey, the Phillies, they're getting pretty good starting pitching all the way around. The bullpen ranks 10th in the last 7 games. I like what the Phillies are doing right now, man. They're winning games. Everything is looking pretty solid all across the board. Joe Girardi hater, Maton, thank you. Thank you, Nick Maton. I apologize for the mispronunciation, but he's been doing good. He's been doing good. Good for the Phillies, man. He's been really giving them a bit of a boost. Coming in at number 9, we got the Toronto Blue Jays. The Blue Jays were at number 10 last week, so they move up to number 9 this week. The Blue Jays, they won 3 out of 4 against the Orioles, 2 out of 3 against the Rangers this week. The Blue Jays are playing some good baseball. They were first overall in offense over the last 7 games. That is a scary thing, man. The Blue Jays offense is getting hot at the right time. Let's take a look here. Bo Bichette, this guy has been out of his mind, hitting .516 over his last 7 with a .559 on base percentage, a 1.194 slugging. 5 homers, 13 RBIs. Danny Jansen's been hitting really well. My God, he's hitting over 500. Alejandro Kirk has been pretty solid. Kevin Biggio with a couple of home runs this past week. Taking a look here. Actually, let me pull up the minimum plate appearances at 10. Vladimir Guerrero Jr., what the heck are we doing? Dude, you need to start picking this up, man. George Springer, I mean, I know you scored 7 runs this week, but we need a little more out of you, my friend. Need a little more. Lourdes Gurriel Jr., he's actually been hitting pretty well. Jackie Bradley Jr., an old friend, actually hitting pretty well. Raymel Tapia, Santiago Espinal. They're getting a lot of offense here, but my goodness, Vlad, what are we doing? Come on, man. Come on. You got to pick up the pace here. Now, for the starting pitching, Toronto, if we take a look at where were they? They were 14th overall. Alek Manoah, he had a pretty good start this past week. Actually, where were my numbers on? Yeah, Manoah actually had a really good start against the Orioles. I apologize. But Gausman had a couple of wins, but he did get knocked around by the Rangers in his last start. He did get the win, but didn't look as great. And also, one more thing with the Blue Jays. They have had the best bullpen as of late. This Blue Jays bullpen has been absolutely fantastic. I've been saying this for what feels like over a year now. The Blue Jays bullpen has been their kryptonite, but it looks like they have found something here. It looks like, they brought in Anthony Bass. I feel like he brought some stability to that bullpen. I remember going back, to one trade, that video that I did, one trade for each team by the deadline. I thought maybe the Diamondbacks, maybe they could trade Joe Mantiply over to them. They needed someone. They needed like a good setup guy for that bullpen. Anthony Bass was a good move. I think that's really helped out the Blue Jays overall. Romano's been looking good at the back end of the bullpen. I like what the Blue Jays are doing, man. Good offense. Pretty solid starting pitching. The bullpen's been stepping up. This Blue Jays team, I've been thinking about this Blue Jays team. I've been thinking this one thing about this team all year. If they get hot at the right time, they're scary for the playoffs, man. They're a scary team for the playoffs. And Mike, I want to acknowledge you in the chat. Stripling, unsung hero for the Jays. Dude, he has been fantastic. Everyone's talking about Kevin Gausman and Alek Manoah, even Jose Barrios. People are talking about him more than Ross Stripling, about how just ineffective he's been. Where he's had quite a few starts where he's just looked awful. Ross Stripling has been Mr. Consistency for the Toronto Blue Jays. And actually, I'm doing a video, most underrated players in 2022. Will Ross Stripling make that list? I might have to maybe go take a look at that. But Ross Stripling has been extremely underrated. To me, if you're going into the playoffs, I mean, I'm going Gausman, Manoah, and Stripling for game 3. I'm not going Barrios in game 3. I'm going Stripling easily. The Blue Jays, they're looking good at the right time. And a hot Blue Jays team in the playoffs, that's pretty scary if you ask me. Here we go. Just ahead of them, I have the Tampa Bay Rays. A bummer of a weekend for the Rays, man. That was their chance to try and really get back into that. They were already back into the division race, but to really make it interesting. But then they lose their series against the Yankees. And that was coming off of a sweep of the Red Sox. Oh my. You know, like they were looking really good going into that series against the Yankees. And they just could not take advantage of it, man. That was a bummer of a weekend. But Rosarina, Yandy Diaz, they had solid weeks. They just didn't have a lot of pitching this past week. Overall, yeah, they swept the Red Sox, but they did not have good pitching against the Yankees. Corey Kluber got absolutely massacred by the Yankees on Saturday. Just a bummer of a weekend for the Rays, man. So that was their chance, in my opinion. And at number 7, I got the Yankees. So the Yankees, I had at number 8 last week. I'm moving the Yankees up 1 spot here. They had a good week. The Yankees, it looks like they're starting to come alive at the right time here. It looks like they're getting everything back together. They're getting some players healthy. The pitching is looking better. The offense is finally looking good as a whole. Taking a look at the Yankees offense over the last 7 days, 11th in WRC plus. That is way better than what the Yankees offense has been looking like in the second half. Dude, this Yankees offense has been like down here in the bottom 10. So to see that they're number 11 over the last 7 in WRC plus, that's a good sign, man. That's a really good sign. Taking a look at the Yankees over the last 7 games, Aaron Judge, this guy's just out of his mind. Give this guy the MVP right now. Isaiah Kiner-Falefa, he had a grand slam and a really good week overall. Josh Donaldson is coming alive. Miguel Andujar is contributing. You gotta love it. Kyle Higashioka is hitting as well. Gleyber Torres, he had a couple of home runs today. These guys are starting to wake up. They're starting to wake up, and that's what the Yankees have needed. Their pitching has been pretty good. Taking a look at the starting pitching, 3rd overall over the last 7. This Yankees starting pitching, I mean, you got Frankie Montas. He's finally looking like he's getting into a bit of a rhythm here with the Yankees. A couple of starts looking pretty good this past week. Jamison Tyone is starting to contribute a bit more. Garrett Cole had a good start his last time out. I believe, who was that against? That was against the Twins. He looked really good against the Twins. Went into the 7th inning. Nestor Cortez, we need to start getting back to that first half. Nestor Cortez. Domingo Germán, he actually looked pretty good this past week. Good starting pitching from the Yankees. The second best bullpen this past week, a 0.68 ERA. Taking a look at some of the guys here in the bullpen for the Yankees. Wandy Peralta is looking really good. Clay Holmes finally looking like that first half Clay Holmes. He was hitting a bit of a rough stretch. They did put him on the IL recently. I was kind of wondering if that was more of like a phantom IL kind of a move, but whatever it was, it's helping. A lot of guys in this bullpen are contributing. It's nice to see. As a Red Sox fan, I hate it, but as a baseball fan, it's nice to see that the Yankees, they're starting to put it together, because this is a good team. And when they were just playing so bad there, everyone wanted to just crap on this team, and they're starting to get it together here. So I'm not going to jump them up back to the top 5. I'm going to move them up 1 spot into the number 6 spot. But hey, this Yankees team, they could definitely make it back to the top 5 before the end of the year. At number 6, I really wanted to put this team in the top 5. I did. I really did. I just couldn't, because even though it was an exciting win today, an exciting win, not a great week overall, the Seattle Mariners. Now, they won 2 out of 3 against the Braves. What a great game this was today. Oh my goodness. You had 5 runs in the 9th inning there. Let's just go back to all the scoring in that 9th inning. Michael Harris, the second. Dude, this guy came alive in the 8th and the 9th, man. This guy is so good. A couple of homers there. Man, hit a 3-run bomb there. Man, he's so good. And then Robbie Grossman had the 2-run homer there late. But then Julio Rodriguez tying up the game. J-Rod is just awesome. He's so good. He's so cool. J-Rod's awesome. And then Eugenio Suarez with the walk-off homer today. What a game. Like, what a ninth inning. This might be the best ninth inning. I don't know. I'm going blank here, but I don't know. Is there a better ninth inning this year? I don't know. That's as exciting as it gets. But for the Mariners and their fans to have that, that's awesome. That's a feel-good moment today. But here's why I'm not putting the Mariners in the top 5. They lost 2 out of 3 against the White Sox. So if they had won their series against the White Sox, I definitely think there was an argument for the top 5. But I can't do it just yet. Honestly, the offense overall was not really like amazing this past week. Pretty middle of the road, hit 206 this past week. But the offense, they definitely got it there in the end. So that's the thing about the Mariners. They're kind of just, they're coming up with the runs when they need them, you know? They're coming up with them. Now, the starting pitching has been looking really good. Man, I'm telling you, getting Luis Castillo was so huge for them because it just really brought more stability to that rotation, and he has been awesome. But George Kirby, this guy has been just awesome. Like, my God, look at the week that he had. 2 starts, an ERA of 1. This guy's been great. George Kirby, man, he has been a huge boost for the Mariners this year. I mean, look at this. This is a really good-looking rotation. Kirby, Gilbert, who was really good in his last start. Castillo has been a really nice addition for the Mariners rotation. Robbie Ray, yeah, he didn't really look all that great this past week, as well as I think Marco Gonzalez actually did pretty good today. I believe, yeah, because it was the bullpen that did not help out the Mariners in the end. But they're getting some good starting pitching, and the bullpen, other than Sewald, other than Sewald today, the bullpen has been really good for the Mariners. They're not getting a ton of offense overall, but hey, they're getting it done. This Mariners team, they're looking really fun right now. Again, I'm not putting them in the top 5 because you did lose 2 out of 3 to the White Sox. Now, if you won 2 out of 3, I definitely think there could have been an argument, but I will move them up to the number 6 spot. They were at 7 last week, so they move up to 6 this week. I think that's fair. I think that's fair. If you don't like it, eat my shorts. Here we go. Top 5, the St. Louis Cardinals opening it up. Albert Pujols, man, 697. Like I said, dude, at this rate, this guy can catch Babe Ruth. I mean, if he does not get 700 home runs, it just has to happen, right? He's got 3 weeks to hit 3 home runs. I mean, come on. Hopefully he doesn't start pressing and then he ends up missing out on it. I think he will get that 700. I'm gonna say he ends up at 703. 703. I'll have him finish there. Also, I forgot to point out the super chat earlier. Who was that? JM1231. Kirby is seriously looking like Baby Verlander. He is looking awesome. George Kirby has been absolutely fantastic. He's been a really nice addition for that rotation this year. But for the Cardinals, actually the Cardinals, they split with the Nationals this week. They won 2 out of 3 against the Pirates. But come on, why are you splitting with the Nationals? What are you doing? The offense has been 21st overall in the last 7. Also, I want to point this out. Pujols, yeah, that was 697, but that was a clutch home run today. That was in the 9th inning to give them the lead. You got to love it, man. Pujols is awesome. I love Albert Pujols this year, man. But for, where was I? St. Louis. The offense has not really been amazing. If you take a look here, where are they? St. Louis. They're 24th overall in offense over the last 7, but they're getting some really good starting pitching. 6 overall in the last 7 games. Let's pull up some of these guys. Who do we got here? Miles Michaelis, man. Honestly, could you consider Miles Michaelis to be an underrated guy this year? He's been really good. A 3.42 ERA, 3.85 FIP. He has been huge for the Cardinals this year. He's been amazing. Jose Quintana, he's been a pretty solid pickup for them. Jordan Montgomery has been a really solid pickup. And there was actually my good friend Josh, big Yankee fan. He was actually listening to CC Sabathia's podcast, and he was telling me that Montgomery was on there. And he's saying that the Cardinals are just giving him, just more freedom. He was telling him, how the Yankees, they wanted him to throw certain pitches in certain spots. But the Cardinals, they're kind of just letting him do his thing. And it's really working out for them. It's really working out. He's been great for them. Adam Wainwright wasn't really too great this past week. But Jack Flaherty, actually, what is going on here with Jack Flaherty? Nice to see Flaherty back in the swing of things. He actually pitched yesterday. He went, how long did he go? He gave up 3 runs, 6 hits, 4 walks in 5 innings. So, Jack Flaherty, whatever. At this point, if he can just give you something, hopefully he can get himself right by the playoffs. It'd be nice to see Jack Flaherty coming up in a big spot for the Cardinals in the playoffs. So I think the Cardinals, they're looking like a really good team for the playoffs. The starting pitching has been good, but they are going to need to pick it up with the offense as well as the bullpen, because the bullpen, as of right now, they're dead last in the last seven games. They're 2-1 out of that bullpen in the last 7, but an 8.87 ERA. FIP isn't really good either at a 5.94. So Cardinals, they got to pick up the pace there, man. Number 4. Last week, I saw it. I had Braves fans, a couple Braves fans coming after me saying, hey, man, you got to put the Braves ahead of the Mets. I said, hey, I'm keeping the Mets here for now. I'm keeping the Mets here. And look what happened. Now the Mets, they're starting to click a little bit. This is why I don't just hot potato stuff, I don't just jump the gun. I'm more patient when it comes to my power rankings. Like, look how long it took me to take the Yankees out of the top 5. When it comes to a team that's in the top 5, they're there for a reason. I'm not just putting any team in the top 5, man. Now, the Mets, they were looking really in danger there at one point. Now, the Braves are still right there, a game and a half, but the Mets, they have gotten themselves back on track. They actually, they lost first place there for like a day, but they bounced back into it. They won 2 out of 3 against the Pirates and the Marlins. Now, the Mets, that is one thing. The Mets have a much easier schedule the rest of the way than the Braves. The Braves, we just saw them playing the Mariners. That's a tough series. So the Mets definitely have the advantage of that easier schedule. So let's also keep that in mind. Actually, I'm talking about the Braves here. So yeah, the Braves, a bit of a tougher schedule. They won. What was I just saying? I was reading off the Mets stuff. I'm sorry. I was looking at the wrong bit of my notes. The Braves this past week, they won both against Oakland. They played 2 games against Oakland this week, and they lost 2 out of 3 to the Mariners, the walk-off loss today. But hey, Michael Harris II hitting a couple of home runs there late in the game. The offense overall, middle of the road, nothing amazing, but they are. 5 runs there in the top of the 9th today. That's pretty good if you ask me. Starting pitching has been a little flat lately for the Atlanta Braves. 23rd in Fangraph WAR over the last 7, a 5.27 ERA and a 5.57 FIP. I'm not worried about the Braves starting pitching. Strider and Fried, they look good, but Morton and Wright, they got rocked this past week, man. Odorizzi was kind of just whatever today. But the Braves, I know they got some tougher matchups coming up, more tougher matchups than the Mets do. But the Braves here, to me, I really like them. The Mets and the Braves, this is how it's supposed to be. These two teams should be this close because the Mets are good and the Braves are good. Now, which team will come out on top? We'll just have to wait and see. But for the Braves, as of right now, I have them coming in at number 4. At number 3, I have the Mets just ahead of them. They did lose first place. I was reading the Mets notes for my Braves. This is my brain, how it works, everyone. But they lost first place. They hopped back into first place. They won 2 out of 3 against the Pirates. They won 2 out of 3 against the Marlins. Their offense was actually really good. If we take a look here at the Mets offense, 3rd in offense this past week. And looking at some of these guys, man, they got some guys really heating up here. Eduardo Escobar has been hitting the crap out of the ball. Francisco Lindor, we were talking about him earlier. He's been good. Look at James McCann, only a few games this past week coming into today, but hitting really well. Tyler Naquin's been hitting well. Mark Canha had a grand slam this past week. That's not too bad if you ask me. Brandon Nimmo, I think, homered today. Jeff McNeil, I feel like has actually been, I keep saying the word underrated, but Jeff McNeil, I feel like, is not really being talked about a whole lot on the Mets this year. So Mets, they're getting some really good offense here, and the starting pitching is actually starting to look really good. 2nd in starting pitching this past week. James DeGrom, he got a what the heck did I just say? my brain is not working right now. James DeGrom. You know why I'm thinking James McCann. My God. Let's just call him James DeGrom. It's time for bed, everyone. Jacob DeGrom, not James DeGrom. Really good start this past week. Chris Bassett with a really good start this past week. Carlos Carrasco with a couple of starts. Pretty good numbers overall. Peterson, Walker, not great. Scherzer, hopefully he's back soon. But they're getting some good starting pitching. Now, the bullpen, they're going to need to tighten things up a little bit. 20th in Fangraph WAR over the last 7. But the Mets, hey, man, they got that easy schedule. Can they iron some things out? It looks like they're starting to. I have the Mets at number 3. At number 2, I have the Astros. That's not the right one. We got the Astros at number 2. SoundFX09, what is going on? Braves remain at number 4. I expect a demotion out of the top 5 after losing to Seattle in such fashion after 3 games in San Fran. All remaining Braves games are against divisional opponents. My goodness, you know what? Let's actually pull up here the strength of schedules for the rest of the way. SoundFX, thank you so much for the $10 super chat. Do really appreciate that, my friend. Here we go. So, taking a look at the NL East strength of schedule, the Nationals actually have the hardest schedule, and the Phillies actually have a tougher schedule here. But between the Braves and the Mets, the Braves have a 502 strength of schedule moving forward, and the Mets have a 471. So the Braves, I gotta go to bed. The Braves. I just said the Bretts. Oh my God, the Mets and the Braves. Let's call the Mets and let's put the Braves and the Mets together, and we'll call them the Bretts, or the Maves. Is that good? Sounds good. It's time for bed, everyone. Here we go. Astros. SoundFX, thank you for the super chat. Astros once again staying in the number 2 spot, and I have the Dodgers at number 1. The Astros, they won 2 out of 3 against Texas and the Angels this past week. The offense was kind of just whatever, but they had 5 home runs today against the Angels. Not too bad if you ask me. Starting pitching. They've been looking really good. 5th in starting pitching over the last 7. Framber Valdez was solid. Hunter Brown had 6 scoreless in his debut. Lance McCullers Jr., Urquidy, they earned wins this past week. Solid bullpen overall for the Astros this week. 3rd overall in Fangraph WAR. The Astros are just good, man, and they don't care what you think about them. The Astros, they're just really good. And the Dodgers at number 1. I don't see the Dodgers losing this spot. I'm going to be honest with you. I don't see the Dodgers losing this spot for the rest of the year. They're just so good. At this rate, I mean, what are they even going to finish with in terms of record? They're at 96 wins already. I mean, how many more games they got left? So we got 96 and 43. So 96 plus 43. So you got 23 more games. I mean, could they? I don't think they're going to be able to break the record. I don't think that's going to happen. But they could easily get 110. I could see that. I mean, my God. This Dodgers team is just so good. They clinched a playoff spot today. First team in the major leagues to do so. They won 2 out of 3 against the Giants and the Padres in the last 7 days. They're 2nd in offense. Freddie Freeman, Max Muncy, they've been red hot. Both Turners homer today. Justin Turner had a couple of home runs today. I think Justin Turner actually, did he have a grand slam today? I feel like that's what happened, right? That's going to kill me if I don't remember it. Hold on, let me pull that up here. Did he have a grand slam today? I feel like he did. Yeah, he did have a grand slam today. I was about to say, I'm not going crazy. Let me go pull up his box score today. How many RBIs did he drive? What do we got here? Justin Turner. Yeah, 5 RBIs, man. He's looking good. He's looking really good. Now, the one thing with the Dodgers, though, the starting pitching has been a little eh. Heaney, Anderson, and Urias, they each had a win, but the FIP of the starting pitching over the last 7 is a 6.12. So I'm going to be honest with you. When it comes to the starting pitching, that's the one thing that does scare me about the Dodgers for the playoffs. That's the one thing. This offense is obviously good enough. The bullpen is good enough. I'm just wondering about playoff baseball. You know, if you're going up against like Scherzer and DeGrom in the playoffs, you know, I don't know. I'm just saying. That's the only thing that worries me. The Dodgers are going to be good. You know, obviously they're going to finish with a really good record. I just wonder about playoff pitching. That's it. You know, so Dodgers look really good right now. The bullpen 13th overall in Fangraph WAR over the last 7. I mean, there's what else is there to say? The Dodgers are just playing fantastic right now. I just don't see really anyone taking the Dodgers out of the spot. Like, I just think this is maybe the Astros could. Even then, what is the Astros? If we look at the overall, and the Astros are 6 out of that, or 6.5 out. You maybe if the Dodgers just go ice cold, maybe the Astros can move to the number 1 spot. I don't know, man. I just think the Dodgers, I think they're gonna hang on to it. Look at that run differential, 310. That's nuts, man. The Yankees at 206. But yeah, everyone, those are the power rankings for this week. Dodgers at number 1, Astros at 2, Mets at 3, Braves at 4, Cardinals at 5. No change in the top 5. The Mariners at number 6, the Yankees at 7, the Rays at number 8, the Blue Jays at 9, the Phillies at number 10. The Padres have fallen out of the top 10. You got the Guardians. They're moving up a little bit. The White Sox made a huge jump this week. The Brewers, they're hanging around. The Orioles, they're close to falling out of that top 15. We'll have to wait and see. Can the Orioles get themselves back on track? But yeah, that's it for this week, everyone. I am tired. As you could hear me, I'm stumbling on my words right now. I am in very much in need of a bed at this point. I gotta go to work tomorrow morning. Everyone, I want to thank you for coming out tonight. Before you get out of here, if you are new, hit that subscribe button for me. Trying to get to 27K by the end of the season. Trying to get to 30K by the end of the year. Everyone, on your way out, hit that like button for me. 150 likes is the goal for tonight. Hit that bell notification. Share the stream. Don't forget about our sponsors. We have SeatGeek. Use my code HYDE. You get $20 off. And Prize Picks. Use my code GINGER. And you'll get a 100% deposit match. Everyone, I'm out of here. I'm tired. I'm going to go face plant into my pillow. Have yourself a great night. And hey, be on the lookout for lives this week. I would like to do hot takes this week, so be on the lookout for that and start thinking of some juicy hot takes for me. I would like to upload a video or 2 this week. I actually have one recorded. I just need to edit it. But everyone, have yourself a great night, and I'll talk to you next time.